We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of 2 Cents Plus, and today is going to be a conversation piece. Now, I haven't done a lot of these on this video. It's mostly been streams and game uploads, but I got a lot to say about the gaming industry and stuff that's going on within gaming. So I'd like to do these conversation pieces every now and then to just talk about gaming and what's been going on. So the topic today is going to be about not really an article, but an opinion piece that I've seen that has since been deleted because I can't find the original. I can only find the archive, that stated that game developers need to stop listening to their fans. Now, immediately when I saw that, I had two mindsets. The first mindset was, okay, they may have a point depending on the context and what the situation is about. But that immediately went away when I saw the picture depicting the game in which they were talking about. That game in question being No Man's Sky. Now, I'm sure you guys, if you've been gaming for a while or just paying attention to the gaming world, you know the controversy behind No Man's Sky. It was a game that had a lot of huge ambitions, made a lot of promises, and made good on almost none of them, which unfortunately is a thing that's kind of commonplace now. But most of the time your expectations are really high and you get a little shortchanged on what you expected, and things aren't quite what they seem. But in this instance, things weren't at all what they seemed. They were quite the opposite. As a matter of fact, there are numerous clips of the guy who was in charge of the game at the time. Well, not really in charge of the game, but in charge of, I guess, PR at Hello Games. He just, I don't know if he got caught up in the moment, if I have no idea what was going on, or he just, they talked about these things and he just ran out and was just like, I'm gonna tell the world that we're gonna do this. But basically he just flat out lied about what most of the game had to offer. And at this particular time, when the backlash took place, both games journalists and gamers alike were all upset. They were all very upset, and they all had a lot to say about it. Even the games journalists that seem to be complaining about the fact that gamers have literally anything to say about anything nowadays, even they were on kind of the hate train, because they're just like, why would you flat out lie? It just doesn't make any sense. We were going to play the game, and we were going to see that that stuff wasn't in it. Why would you tell us that so confidently? It just didn't make any sense. People were reasonably pissed off. Totally understandable. The article in question, which will be down in the description below if you guys want to see it, was making an argument though that No Man's Sky should have stayed the way that it was and stuck to their vision. Now, if you have any level of common sense, you immediately got why that statement didn't make sense. But let me elaborate. Their vision, this vision that this person is talking about, was what they presented to gamers. When they came out and they were talking about their game, they told them what this game was going to be. Like, definitively, this is what we are going for, this is what's available, it is the most ambitious project ever made, and they touted it as one of the greatest things you probably ever experienced. That was their vision. What we got was not their vision. That was some bullshit that they put together that was not promised to us. So immediately right out the gate, I have a serious problem with the way that this article is even framed in the first place, because it makes it seem like, once again, the spoiled, entitled gamer thinks that everything should go their way, and they're super disappointed because they didn't, so they're forcing these developers to have to put in extra work because they're unhappy with what they were given. Which, admittedly, does happen, and has happened, and is actually a reasonable problem to acknowledge within the gaming industry and community right now. It's something that has happened, and there are numerous examples he probably could have given for that. But for some reason, he decided to go with No Man's Sky, which for the life of me, I cannot understand. Now, there's a particular set of paragraphs in this opinion piece that really stood out to me, and they stood out to me because the conclusion is almost baffling. Now just take a moment and listen to the narrative here and what exactly is being said. Quote, I'm not going to get drawn into the years-long debate about whether Sean Murray lied. Lied is in quotations, by the way, because apparently coming out publicly saying that a game is going to 100% be something and it 100% wasn't isn't a lie, I guess. So we can put that in quotations because he just lied. Okay, about No Man's Sky. Apparently that was a justification enough to send him and his team death threats, which it wasn't, and if you were one of those people who did that, fuck you, you're an idiot. What I will say is that people expected multiplayer and far more detailed single-player game than what they got. So you know this. So you realize that they expected multiplayer and far more detailed single-player than what they got, because that's what they were promised. Okay. And PR is absolutely, remember that statement though. I'm going to read it one more time just to make sure you guys really got that. What I will say is that people expected multiplayer and a far more detailed single player game than what they got. Alright. And PR is absolutely to blame for that. PR's job is to make sure people know what to expect from the game so they are not disappointed. In other words, I don't hold it against players for being disappointed with their experience of No Man's Sky. Okay. That's also important. I don't hold it against players for being disappointed with their experience in No Man's Sky. So long as they weren't the ones who were, you know, abused and harassed the developers, of course, because fuck those people. They clearly expected something different than what they got. And I don't think that's fair to them. But, now listen to what comes after this but. After saying all of that, this is what comes after the but. The game should have been left in its original state. So, all of that. But, even though they promised that the game was going to be a certain amount of thing, even though that's what they promised that they were going to deliver, and they built up and purposely set these expectations for people to go out and buy this game, they tricked them into buying something that wasn't what it was. It should have stayed what it was. Yes, it disappointed some people, and I'm sure it made plenty swear off buying Hello Games, ever buying Hello Games again. But the developer should have stuck to its vision, and the consumer should have let it. Now let's analyze that for a second. Yes, it disappointed some people, and I'm sure it made plenty swear off Hello Games forever. Now I don't know if you know this, but I'm gonna let you in on a little industry secret. People make games to fucking sell them. Making the people who purchase your games swear off of your brand as a whole is not a good business practice. You idiot. Why on earth would you even suggest that that's even an option? Lie about your game, tell them they're gonna get something that they won't, and then when it comes out and they're disappointed, say fuck them and leave it exactly like that and take their money. Are you serious? But the developer should have stuck to its vision and the consumer should have let it. So the developer should have said, yes, we promised you all this shit, but we're giving you this instead. And the gamer should have been like, oh, well still, take my money, it's fine. I know you promised me this game. I know you said that we were going to get this game. I know I walked in thinking that I was paying for this and got something totally different, but that's fine. I completely accept that. Whatever. What the fuck what kind of world do you think that we live in where that is even remotely acceptable to even suggest? If I sold you on a car in a car lot and told you everything that came in this car, negotiated a price, and we fucking made a deal, and I brought you out half a car with like 2 tires, the steering wheel was gone, it had no radio, and most of the stuff that I told you was in it was just not there, would you be like, oh well, you know, maybe this was the actual car you really had in mind, and I don't want to step on your toes or anything like that, so I'm just gonna accept it and pay you the same amount of money for something that I did not negotiate and agree on? Fuck you. Anyway, sorry guys. That just fucks with me, man. Okay. Subsequent updates to No Man's Sky, as well as features promised in Next, have significantly diluted the message, theme, and aesthetics of the original game. The message, theme, and aesthetics of the original game were diluted by the content that was supposed to be there. Can we think about that for a second? The content that was supposed to be in the game that was promised diluted the message, theme, and aesthetics of the game. Okay. Alright. And now it is just morphed into another space game. Okay, so what other space games do you know allows you the freedom and the accessibility and the multitude of planets and different places to go to that No Man's Sky does? Because I guarantee there is no other game like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky stands apart from any other game in its genre because of how massive and unbelievably just the scale of exploration is beyond any other game that exists right now. So there's no way you could say that it's just another space game. And they say it doesn't tell us anything because having an ending that was so fucking pointless and stupid to where you just zoomed out into the empty void of the universe forever and got nothing for it. There was no backstory, no ending, no nothing. It was just like, you did it. You made it to the end of the world or the end of the universe. Here's nothing. That was supposed to be super fucking profound after you worked really hard to get to that point. It doesn't tell us anything anymore because it's too busy trying to be fun. And this last statement right here was when I blew my top. This is when I was like, I have to do a video on this because think about this. You release a game that doesn't have even half of what you promised that it was supposed to have. You make us pay full price for said game, go completely radio silent about what you're trying to do as far as fixing the game that you promised. Give us an ending to the game that is so utterly and completely unsatisfying and a complete insult to injury that the disc might as well have popped out of your computer or your system and fucking stabbed you right in the chest. Right? This is what you presented to us. And this person has the nerve to complain about the fact that they prioritize this game actually being enjoyable over the fact that it was an empty void of pointless nothingness before. It should have stayed that way because it had a message, a theme, and an aesthetic. And now it doesn't tell us anything anymore because now it's fun. What? Are you serious? It doesn't tell us anything anymore because it's too busy trying to be fun. We have a person right now complaining that instead of an empty void of nothingness and broken promises, a game is somehow worse off because it is actually enjoyable now. I just, what more needs to be said? What else could I possibly say at this point? I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop here because every time I get to this point, my brain malfunctions. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this video topic down in the description below. Do you also agree to a certain extent that developers need to not take into the account, you know, what gamers think or whatever when it comes to the creative process? Because I think there's an argument to be made there when it comes to a developer and what their vision is and what they want a game to be, assuming it's going to be that when it comes out. I don't think that it's necessary to listen to the gamer and try to help them shape your vision. It's your vision. You make what you want to make, and then once the game comes out, obviously taking feedback and everything on that game and how to make it better, how to make it more enjoyable. You can be open to that type of advice, but when it comes to the creative process, it's your creation. You know, so I can understand an argument from that standpoint, and I think that conversation could be had. But what do you think about this situation? Do you think this guy was justified? Do you think he was making any sense in using this example? You think he might have been able to use something else to make a stronger point? Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you think about these types of videos. Thumbs up are super encouraging, or even a thumbs down. Just engagement, period. If you like this topic, hit that thumbs up. If you don't like it, hit that thumbs down. It is super encouraging to see you guys actually engaging, and if you have something to say, 100% put it down in the comment section below. I'm going to be checking very diligently and responding to everything that warrants a response. I want to get a conversation going, and I want these type of videos to spark these kind of conversations. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Be sure to hit that like or dislike button, and I will see you guys on the next one.